guys. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Hey, you guys, it is Ty. Oop, did I? Oop. And welcome back to my channel. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Today is Sunday, July 17th, 2022. It's a celebration. It's a celebration. So, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, regardless of when you're watching this. It is Sunday, July 17th, 2022. Why is this video celebration? Why is this video so important? I just want to start off by saying welcome back, you guys. It is Ty Guidance, Talks with Ty. I'm a holistic healer, intuitive speaker, spiritual teacher, just the vessel, holistic healer, hoodoo is, whatever you would like to call it, life coach. And today's a celebration because on this very day, I believe maybe 2 or 3 years ago in 2019, I started today's channel. I started the intentions of becoming a holistic healer and a life coach and motivational speaker, or just a vessel. So that being said, welcome back, you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying your evening, your morning, or afternoon. It is currently Sunday, once again, like I've already stated, going on 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is July 17th, 2022. It's a celebration because I started this channel on July 17th, 2019. I was living in Colorado. I was going through a lot of trials and tribulations, as I still am now. But where I was July 17th, 2019, and where I am now, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, supernaturally, and financially, I have grown as well as learned, overcame, and experienced life. So it's a celebration because this video, not only is it important for me and anybody who's watching this video or coming across this channel, but if you are an OG or you have been watching this video, you have been coming across this channel, I just want to say thank you. It's a celebration because I started this channel with initiative of not knowing the direction of where I wanted to be, but having the intention to be a humanitarian and help those who choose to be helped. So that being said, I suggest and advise information. I speak from a place of experience. I do educate myself. I do like to use natural resources such as dictionaries, thesauruses, our Akashic records, everyday jobs, realities, perspectives, relationships, ups and downs, and trials and tribulations, as well as my source, my cultural background, and what has best helped me along my journey. So that being said, I do not tell people what to do. I do suggest and advise information, and I speak from a place of experience, helping those who choose to heal themselves. So it's a celebration because it's 2022. I've had this channel for, let's count. So 2019 to 2020, 2020 to 2021, 2021 to 2022. So for 3 years now. But I want to say last year, in the year of 2021 and 2020, is when I started to take it seriously, like in a business perspective. So when I first started the channel, I just had the intentions of, helping people, informing people, and suggesting advising information. And as I was able to help people and inform people and building with clients and working with real people, I've realized there are a lot of people in the world, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, who may be lost, who may not know their purpose, and who may need healing. So I just want to say thank you to everyone watching this. I want to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed. You guys can check me out on my Instagram, Twitter, and now TikTok at Ty_guidance. I'm currently in the process of growing all of my social media. So I have a platform as well as my YouTube channel, just getting the minimum of 1,000 subscribers on all of my social medias. I used to have my page on private because, one, honestly, I was afraid of growth. I was afraid of commitment. I was afraid of just not knowing, who I was and where I wanted to be. And as I've been going through life every single day since 2019, I am learning to become comfortable with myself and the young woman that I would love to be. And just me being that young woman is not only being healing myself and healing other people, but just being really like aligned with my true intentions in life and my purpose, as well as helping as many people that come across my videos or align themselves with me. So, with that being said, I'm not perfect. I don't have a license. Something that I've realized and experienced, I want to give a shout out to Bella. She was my manager at the Kalahari in the Poconos in Pennsylvania. So, Bella, if you're watching this, is that just because you may or may not have a license doesn't mean that you're not qualified to do something. I just want to show people that, one, it's possible to heal yourself. Healing is an option. And two, because it's possible to heal yourself and that it's an option, that believing in yourself is a choice. Doing what you want to do is a choice. I want to be an example, not only for myself, but for young men and women of all kinds of generations, species, in life. with that being said, I want to thank my source. I want to thank the divine feminines. I'm not very specific on my divine feminines with names, just because I know everyone does not have the same, cultural backgrounds and experiences. And with that being said, I never project or bring down or belittle people when it comes to their cultural backgrounds. Something I'm not gonna lie, I've been working on is my delivery and perception, because I do believe that life is about perspective and perception. And everybody in life does not have the same experiences. Everyone emotionally, financially, intuitively, supernaturally, or even academically does not have the same resources. Everyone doesn't have the same funds. Everyone doesn't have the same support. And me just being on here, becoming myself and learning to represent myself and learning how to run a business or start a business is really important to me. So this video is a celebration because I've realized that when it comes to healing, when it comes to achieving your goals or just believing yourself, that one, it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes good and bad days. And I just want to continue to show up every single day as my true, authentic self, meaning, you know, hair halfway being on my head, eyebrows being overly plucked, and my forehead getting bigger and bigger every single day. You guys, I need to stop wearing this headband because my forehead was already big, but I keep stretching it. So, with that being said, I come on here true to myself, learning to be real, learning to accept that I've had a past, I'm in the present, and that the future is up to me. But with all of that being said, most importantly, I just want to say thank you for those who have been coming across my channel. I want to say thank yous to people who have been subscribing and supporting me, because this is a process. And as I learn to show up and become the best version of me, I just want to say that when it comes to doing something that you've never done before, it's going to be challenging and that it takes time. And as I'm learning to be more consistent and more committed to you guys, I'm learning to grow. Like, the videos that I have are forever going to be here. And that's something that is way more important than me, than likes and views and people supporting me. Even though people that are going to support you are going to be there and want to show up for you. Most importantly, just learning pros and cons and the ins and outs and not giving up on myself. Like, I think it's really important that when it comes to anyone who's trying to become an entrepreneur or running a business or doing something that you, like I said, never been exposed to not be so discouraged, because everyone can have an idea and a thought, and it's not to invalidate those ideas and thoughts, but it's one thing to have an idea, but something that I'm learning is one thing to actually, like, put in work towards your idea. So something that I wanna learn something I wanna suggest and advise as this year continues to go on is to be patient with yourself and understand that when you write something down or you have something in your mind that you working towards it physically, that one is going to pay off, and two, that it takes time and effort and energy. So, like, the best way I can look at my channel and as you all, and when it comes to building clients and relationship, is like building a house. Like, anybody from scratch, at least. Like, anybody who's ever built a house from scratch or knows anything about construction or architecture, I think that's it, or just investing, knows that it takes time to build a house. It takes time to strategize. It takes time to put down, the tools and get certain pieces or, material to build your house. And the goal is to have our house last for a long time. Now, of course, nobody is going to live in their house forever because nobody lives forever. But the goal is to have a foundation. And I'm learning that the foundation is way more important than the actual house. Because, for example, if you're building a house and let's just say you have a 2 or 3 story house, if you don't have like concrete or your bottom row down for your house when it comes to you living in it, your house may blow away. Or, if a tornado were to come or someone were to, vandalize, just something happening, because that's a part about life. Things are going to happen to us unexpectedly, and things happen to us that because it's unexpected, we one want to learn how to, be still aligned and not give up on ourselves. So I just want to say it's a celebration video, and I just want to thank everyone because I'm also learning, like I said, the foundation is important when it comes to building your house, but understanding that you having a foundation to your house is one of the most important things. Like, learning to accept the fact that building a house is going to take time, but having your foundation to me is the most important thing. I think having a foundation when it comes to building a house or starting something new that you've never done before is really important because to me, something I had to realize is me posting 100 to 400 videos is just the foundation of my house. It's just the foundation of my business. Like I'm just now really getting my feet wet, as people like to say, or just now getting in my bag or becoming creative because when you're building, like I said, a three-story house, that first level, that's not the entire house. And I think it's really important for people to learn that when you're building a house, when you're creating something, to one, enjoy it and accept that having that foundation is the reason why your whole house will be able to stay. Is the reason why you have structure. It's the reason why that if a hurricane were to come, if someone were to rob your house, or if anything were to happen, that you are one grounded and two, that you're able to have stability. And when it comes to starting a business, when it comes to becoming an entrepreneur, when it comes to just learning to do things for yourself, having the stability in yourself as well as your business, I want to suggest and advise is really important because I feel like that is important when it comes to the longevity. And of course, I'm a philanthropist in the making, but from the year and 2 years that I had from experience, it's important to have experience because another thing too, perspective-wise, is, for example, when you have big corporations that been lasting and been around for like 10 to 20 years or just in general, you have to understand that they've had to build experience, they've had to build a foundation, they've had to, have stability for people to one, feel comfortable, for people to rely on them and to actually build the clientele. Like, I think as a businesswoman or for anybody who's an entrepreneur or just anybody, who is responsible to, establish yourself or something, to look at it, in a way of one, like knowing that learning how to, experience stability is important, learning to look at it in a way of, you have nothing but opportunity. And something I want to suggest and advise is having experience to me is a lot more important and more relatable when it comes to structure and stability. Like me being relatable from me taking time to build my house from scratch is something that other people who are starting a business or building a house can look to and understand that, it takes, let's just say, 365 days or it takes 5 months, and that within those 5 months, I had days where I was tired more than others. I had days where I was more excited than others, and not burning yourself out or rushing because I've learned from my experience with my channel and just experiencing and learning and growing that one, you don't have to rush anything in life because when you rush things in life, they're not for you. And when you rush things in life, you're not taking the time to understand why you had to one, be patient, and as you're learning to be patient, actually experience, and to me, if someone were to build a house in a day or a week and not experience, the long days, the long hours, some good days, some bad days, how one would I really know that they put effort into this house and two, that this house will stand? And rushing to me, like I said, like if you have to rush, I don't believe it's for you. And I just suggest and advise that you wouldn't want to rush building your house. Like this is something too I've had to change my perspective. Like when I first started, of course, where I was emotionally, mentally, and financially, I was not in the best state of mind. And as I'm learning and as I'm growing and as I'm healing myself, I'm realizing that I have nothing but time and energy. As long as you are waking up every single day, and this is why I tell people the only thing that matters is you breathing. But the fact that I can wake up every single day means that I have life and energy to one, not only build this house, build this brand, build this foundation, but experience it. And because I am fortunate to have life, like taking each day and the days that I have to put into myself. And that's something too, like where I'm at with the collective, like learning to appreciate doing what you enjoy, because something that I want to suggest and advise and realize and help you guys understand is the perspective of not working because you have to, but because you enjoy what it is that you're doing. And I feel like everyone, should have the experience to one, not only enjoy what it is that they're doing, but really just be grateful that they're able to do what they do because it's a passion. And something I'm learning and experiencing for myself is that if I'm passionate, and this could be a fact, you guys, this is a fact, but this also could be opinion. But when you do things out of love, when you do things out of like authentically, not only is that energy gonna come back to you because what you put out is what you get, but because it is love, you're just creating and you are, you know, actually realistically building and receiving what it is that you want because you're being true to yourself. And that is the most important thing when it comes to alignment, is being true to yourself and learning to love yourself. Because when you're learning to love yourself and you're being true to yourself, you know that you don't have to worry about when things are going to happen or how things are going to happen because you're creating that. And that's something too that I just want to inform to people and let people know is that when it comes to your goals, you have to put in the work. And when it comes to doing something that you never done from, I've had mentors explain to me that trying and putting in effort will allow you to see what's working for you and what's not. And just because you tried something or you did something doesn't mean that it's complete, and not being discouraged. Now, of course, it's not to say that you can't dream big, but whatever you want in life, matching and putting in the effort and the energy towards it. So this is a celebration video because I just want to say that I'm very grateful for Source. Of course, I give, like I said, all credit to the divine feminine. And I want to say thank you to myself, and most importantly, thank you to all of my genuine subscribers, because I'm learning to be patient with my channel. I'm learning to be patient with all the other platforms that I have so I can genuinely, one, grow it and have the right people. Because as I'm experiencing life, as I'm healing myself, as I'm growing my channel, people have gone in and out of my life. And that's the same thing when it comes to you all. And most importantly, as a vessel, as a spirit, because that's the most important thing to me, is accepting that one, I'm not going to be in life forever, and not attaching myself to even my business. And knowing that me putting these videos, the intention is to heal people and to help people. Like, something I've had to learn and accept is that the money and everything else, like I said, when you're passionate and you're genuine, especially if you believe in Source, you don't ever have to worry about receiving what it is that you need in your life. And I feel like it's really important for people to be true to themselves and to know that it's nothing wrong with taking your time. It's nothing wrong with having trials and tribulations and, going through things and having to start over or experiencing life, because where I was when I first started the channel is not where I'm at. It's not where I'm at now, like mentally, emotionally, financially, intuitively, and supernaturally. Like where I was in 2019, I think, how old was I? I was 22 years old. So in 2019, I just had moved across the country. I'm living by myself. I was in a relationship that at the time I thought was everything. And, just still learning myself. I'm 22 years old. I've experienced a lot of trauma. I have one parent. I've been working since I was 17, financially, just taking care of myself. And I wasn't healed from certain things that have happened to me up until then, versus where I'm at now in the year 2022 at the age of 25, and looking back and realizing that when we go through life, because everything is for us, just one, accepting that we go through life, things are for us, and healing and learning and being okay with my past and accepting that in 2019, when I first started the channel, I had no idea how I was going to come up with content, or how many videos I was going to post, or how I was going to do certain things. And to be very honest with you guys, I want to admit this because there's no confusion. When I first started, I was introduced into buying subscribers from certain people. I thought it was okay, and that's what I did. So, like, I did that, and I realized that you never want to buy your subscribers, or you never want to buy your way into success, because now my watch time is going up, but it is taking more time and energy for my channel to grow naturally. And I'm just praying, of course, that once I gain 1,000 subscribers, that this channel is not, jeopardized. But I am aware of my decisions, and knowing that if I do have to start over again, that is nothing wrong with that. And that when you're living your life and when you're aligning yourself, like I said, you're gonna lose people, you're gonna experience good days and bad days, and as you're growing, as you're healing yourself, that things take time, and that it's okay for you to not be where you want to be, as long as you're having the direction. Like, I thought that at 25, when I was young, I thought at 25 I was gonna have two kids. I thought I was gonna have a man and a whole bunch of stuff. At 25, fortunately for me, I have no physical children. I do have angelic children, but I don't have a man because, honestly, you guys, I'm working on myself. Like I said, where I was in 2019, and the relationship that I was in, emotionally, financially, something that I've never been exposed to, it it affected me just like everything else in life is affecting me. And learning that where I was in 2019, because I'm not there now in 2020, one is for me to grow and forgive myself and heal. And that's the most important thing that I am, learning with my channel and with you all, is that things take time. And where you are 3 years ago, or where you were even 5 years from now, is not going to be the same. And just learning to appreciate that, learning to accept life for what it is, like learning to accept where I am right now. Like, I've been through a lot of things in my life, and before I learned to accept myself, honestly, I used to be really like depressed. Like in 2016, I was really depressed, and I used to cry every single day, like on the way from home from work. I would work 45 minutes from my house, and I used to cry like on the way home. I used to be in the car crying, like I would be yelling and screaming. Like, I used to hyperventilate. Like, I did not know how to control my emotions because I was so depressed, and I just had to learn that, one, being depressed is a choice, having anxiety is a choice, and that just because certain things happen to me in my life, in my past, doesn't mean that, one, that moment is gonna last, and that, two, as I'm living my life, just because I go through certain things, that I'm allowed to feel that I feel, but most importantly, that I don't allow those moments to allow me to stay hindered. Because when it comes to healing, in order for me to be in the year 2022, I had to accept my past. I had to accept the decisions that I've made. Like, I had to accept the fact in 2019, you guys, I got into a relationship, and committed myself to a man, and was engaged and wanting to be pregnant and being pregnant, and not knowing him or myself, and understanding that, emotionally, I was damaged. Financially, I've lost funds. Supernaturally, I wasn't aligned. Physically, like, just accepting myself. Like, I got into a car accident in 2016, and ever since then, um, I have not been paralyzed, but my body definitely had adjusted, like my spine and stuff. So I have to get surgery one day and just soon. And like once again, I used to be depressed about like I used to be really depressed about how my physical body was. But something that I had to realize and learn, and as I'm learning in life, is to be grateful. Like, gratitude is important when it comes to healing because we're gonna go through things every single day of our lives because physically we've been alive and none of us asked to be here. So, something that I'm learning and just suggesting and advising is just learning to one, accept your past and yourself. Like, your past, your present, and your future, for those of you who are aware in the supernatural community, doesn't exist. Like, it does not exist, but physically right now, we're in the present. So, learning to accept your past because all of those moments previously up until today in physical man time, it does not exist. And it's not to invalidate our experiences because a lot of people, something that I've realized and something for myself that I had to realize is that when we hold on to past trauma, not only does it become a memory, but that is what we're now diagnosed with as PTSD because we're triggered. And for me, when I was triggered with my father's loss, so grieving, which is a form of expression, because I did not heal myself, anytime when it came to talking about my dad emotionally, physically, I was triggered. And what that does to us, like, there are a lot of chemicals in our physical body. That's why I tell you guys all the time, we're not our body, that will cause us to have an imbalance. And because we're spirits, if our spirits are not aligned with our higher self and who we are, like I said, those chemicals are going to go off, which may cause you to have PTSD, which is causing now people to have depression, which is causing people now to have all of these labels and attachments that, of course, human beings created. You're not PTSD, you're not anxiety, you're not your depression. And that's something I've had to learn and accept because when you do not heal yourself from these labels and these attachments and these stigmas, not only are you confirming the labels and attachments. But when you confirm something, especially verbally, this is why I tell you guys all the time to please be mindful of what you say and do. But once you confirm something, you're basically saying, this is me, this is who I am, and that it's not possible for you to grow. And that's why a lot of people currently are living in the physical year 2022, but internally are suffering because of, like I said, the imbalance from the chemicals from the PTSD, the past trauma that no longer exists. And psychologically, you have people getting diagnosed. Like me, I was considered diagnosed as schizophrenic, which I've just learned to accept that one, I'm really intuitive and I'm not schizophrenic. I am very intuitive, but I had to learn how to accept certain parts of my higher self, of myself, and knowing that one, like I said, the past trauma that I had because I've been exposed to a lot of trauma was from me not healing it. You're not psychotic. You're not schizophrenic, you're not hallucinating, you're not any of those words. And me personally, I'm not gonna lie, as a holistic healer, you guys, I'm very intuitive. It hurts my feelings that people are getting prescribed medicine and people are saying that they're these words when they're not. And once, like I said, once you confirm that you are this or you are that, that's how you have a state of being and that's how you live your life, which is not fair to you as well as the rest of society. So, me showing up as a holistic healer, being a life coach, healing myself, I take that very seriously because unfortunately, that's how the collective is ran. And until the collective supernaturally can heal themselves internally, you have a lot of adults who are considered to be emotionally damaged or have no spirit inside of them because trauma that they've been experienced and no longer experiencing in the present moment that does not exist. And a lot of people do not realize that 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 triggers your communication, that triggers your experiences, that triggers your perspective, that hinders and can limit how you live your life. Like, I thought that I was never going to one get out of this dark hole. I just thought that I was my life was over with. And it's not. Like, I'm currently living right now. Like, I'm currently, like I said, it's July 17th. It's going on 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today's Sunday. And for me, what I've had to realize is knowing that it is okay that I went through certain things in my life because one, I did not have the knowledge. I did not have the resources. I did not have the tools, or I did have the knowledge. I did have the resources. I personally was so emotionally damaged that I didn't care about myself. And that's another thing that really hurts my feelings is when people stop caring about themselves. Because when it comes to life, because none of us physically asked to be born, nobody is responsible for us. So when nobody's responsible for you, you're the only person who can care about yourself. Nobody else in the world is going to be able to care about you the way that you care about yourself because nobody is you. There's nobody on this earth who, even twins or people that are related, are experiencing the same life in the same way. And if everybody's experiencing life and nobody's experiencing life in the same way, people feel lonely. People feel discouraged. People feel depressed. And that's something I think that is not fair for people to once again not have any control over and just think that this is their reality or that this is how life has to be when life is very beautiful. Life could be very peaceful. Life could be anything that you want it to be. But if you don't heal yourself or you don't believe in yourself or know that things are going to get better or that things happen for us, you will feel as though, like, one, that hell, because it's real, in heaven is where you are consciously. And a lot of people get older in life, especially like the older generations, because you have to realize, especially older generations, they didn't have the resources and the tools to do certain things. Anybody who's a minority or anyone who looks like me, especially our people, we didn't have that those things, our grandparents and our parents. Nowadays, you see it's common for people to talk about mental health and therapists, but to have people live life just to physically not be here anymore, it's upsetting. So I'm here as a holistic healer, as a hoodoo specialist, as a life coach, as an intuitive leader and specialist to one, like I said, continue to live life, to continue to speak from my experiences, educating myself and educating the collective because it's important. Like, we did not come to this earth to not one be at peace with ourselves or just to be, upset with ourselves and angry with life and angry with our situations because no one physically asked to be born. So if no one physically asked to be born, when it comes to life, there's no right or wrong way to live your life. And I think that's really important for a collective to understand because when you don't have the say of how you're living your life and what's happening to you and for you, you may feel as though, once again, like you're not anything. And that's why a lot of people commit suicide or have been suicidal and have no people or feel as though that they're alone. I used to be one of those people. Like, I used to be very, very, very much so suicidal, and I used to think that I was suicidal because, like I said, I really thought that I was depressed. I had to learn, honestly, you guys, and this is once again to not invalidate everyone's experiences, but the reason why I was so sad, and this is crazy because when I say this, like, this just makes me realize, like, how corrupt our world is. But I was so sad and so depressed because I got fired from my job. I was 20 years old. I was working at Acceptance Now. I was a finance representative, 20 years old. I've been taking care of myself financially since I was 17 in high school. I'm out of high school. And at the time, my parents were separating and I was living on my own, financially taking care of myself. And I got fired from my job. And at the time, I remember, like I said, just being so depressed because I didn't have money. All because I did not have paper money. Now, of course, when it comes to society in 2022, money is only something that is a requirement because of certain people saying that it has certain value. Because for the original people who know what I'm doing and saying, we knew how to survive without money. We knew how to survive without putting certain value on certain things because everything on the earth, including gold and cotton and land, was already here. So it wasn't until a group of people decided to put value and make it feel as though that we had to have. And because I live in that area where these specific group of people decided to make that a real thing, it makes you feel less than, and that's not true. Like, you should not feel depressed because you don't have money. Like saying that out loud to me is so scary because it's just like the things that people do for physical money, especially here in America, like the society we live in, like people will kill you for some money. People sacrifice themselves for some money, not realizing that one, the money is paper, two, it comes and goes, three, it doesn't belong to you, four, it's gonna be spent, and five, you're not going to be able to take that money with you when you're no longer here. And that's what a lot of people forget in life is that the purpose of life is to life, which means you're just here to live. What you choose to do with your life throughout the day, optional. But people don't have that option or that opportunity because they feel as though they have to have money. Because once again, some people decided, and those people know what they've done. And my people originally, I'm gonna talk about that. My people are aware of that, and we have the say and power to be like, this is not it. And people are aware of that, but because people want greed and people want power, they want to control people. It's so much easier to manipulate energy than it is to tell people that they could do whatever that they want in life. If everybody collectively were to do whatever they want in life, there wouldn't be chaos. Now, I'm not saying that structures and rules are not needed because I do believe that there does need to be some form of structures like having cars and having streetlights. I feel like that's important because if there wasn't no streetlights, people are not mind readers. People can only do and project from internal experiences, which means people only know what they know. Everybody doesn't know the same information. So I do, like I said, I do believe in some form of structure for the collective. So we're not all like lost in the sauce, but not to the point where it's only certain groups of people who have certain rights and certain privileges. It should be everybody. And the people, once again, who are, especially here in America, who are aware of that, they know that. And because I don't believe in that, I believe in equality. Once again, I'm just here to expose myself and my ancestors and my spiritual team and let people know that one, is possible to heal yourself, and that once you do heal yourself, you decide how you want to live your life because there are no rules to life. You don't have to be successful in life. Like, as I'm learning, like when I first started my channel, like I said, because I thought I was so depressed, I really thought that I needed to have $1 trillion to be happy in life. When in all actuality, what makes me the most happiest, you guys, is food, 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 food. Um, Natural resources. If you know, you know. I love me some good old natural resources, and just being outside and music. Now, of course, that is me. I'm not saying everybody just needs food, natural resources, and some good music to live life, but the less that you have to live your life, the more grateful you are of life. So, therefore, when you do receive things or when things do come and go, you don't attach yourself to it. Like, I used to attach myself to money. That's why when I didn't have any, I thought I was depressed. And we live in a society where, once again, certain group of people feel as though that if they don't have certain things, they don't have any value. That's why they decided to put tax onto items that are free. Like, everything in life is free, but you have to work for it because money is paper. Like, a lot of us in the physical world, like I said, are so content with labels and attachments that we do not realize that we are just spirits and that we don't have to, be content with having or without having. Like, that's something I really want to like get the collective to understand. Like, and I know a lot of people that I'm aligning myself with who are currently in the same universe as me, like, know that. And like, for the people who are not, like, informing you guys, like my subscribers who are coming across my channel or who are choosing to heal themselves, that you don't have to have $1 million to be satisfied in life. Because here's the thing, you get $1 million in life because $1 million, this is not to come for anybody who owns $1 million, but anybody can have $1 million. Like, once you work and establish and you get $1 million, then what? I can name 5 people on my hand that I don't know personally, but in general, who have $1 million. Like, one of my favorite people in the world, Michael Joseph Jackson, he had $1 million. My dad, he physically died. His net worth was worth $1 million. Like, who else? There are other people in the world who had money. Like, what happens when you're no longer here or like you spend $1 million? Unless you're making $1 million every single day, like, the value of the money should not define emotionally, mentally, physically, or spiritually who you are. And I personally just want to suggest and advise that when you remove yourself from these attachments, you realize, like I said, who you genuinely are as a person. And that's something too I've had to learn and accept. Like, where I was at 2019 is not where I'm at now. And I'm grateful that I've lost physical and material items to realize that I don't need physical and material items to live my life, because those physical and material items are not one me and are not my worth. And I think it's so important to not put your worth onto physical and material items. Like, I feel as though, like, what has really helped me along my journey to be at peace is accepting that life is a journey. And as long as I'm fortunate to wake up every day, to live each day like, it's my last, and just be grateful that I'm able to experience this life for the time that I have, because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. Nobody does. Like, there are a lot of people in my life that I've lost and are going to continue to lose. And from that, I'm just learning to be grateful, one, for the people that I have in my life, including myself, and just live life and make it the best that I can, make it work for me. If certain things are not working for me, accepting that certain things are no longer in my life. And when you accept that, certain things are not in your life, because nothing in your life is going to stay permanently. Excuse me. And to me, the more the collective can consciously raise their awareness to that, supernaturally, the easier I genuinely do believe people not only are going to be able to heal themselves, but to be free. And that's the goal. That's the goal. For those of you who are a part of this spiritual community, you know that elevation is an eternal thing, meaning if the world has been around since 15 trillion years, you want to live supernaturally in your spirit for another 15 trillion years. You don't want to allow physical material items to deteriorate you from not living in your experience, because when you give into the physical and material world, you're not who you are. And when it comes to being controlled and manipulated, if you give people access and energy to you to take, they're going to take and they're going to control you. They're going to do any and everything they can to abuse you, to manipulate you, to degrade you, because that's what they do. They take people's energy, especially children. That's why when we're born, from kindergarten to 12th grade, they exposed us to these structures and these environments of thinking that we have to work hard to go to school, when all actuality, when it comes to surviving, having a roof over your head, having clothes on your back, drinking and eating is like it's a necessity. Like you have to eat, you have to drink, you must have shelter, you must, have certain things when it comes to your hygiene to survive. That should not be something that is a choice. Now, when it comes to eating cheese puffs or McDonald's or Wendy's, those are options, because you don't have to eat Wendy's every day, but eating something to survive, yes, is important. Taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, financially, intuitively, you have to survive. That's not an option. How you choose to do that, that is an option. That is an option. Like nowhere in life does it say that you have to drive a Lamborghini. Almost said Lamborghini Mercy. A Lamborghini. But in life, if you work and you travel and you would like to do things, you do need transportation. And not being embarrassed or ashamed of your resources that you have or don't have. Because once again, because the world in America is divided, people feel less than. That's why people compare themselves. Like I said, that's why people are suicidal. That's why, especially like, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, this is an opinion, but I say this with love. Anytime I speak from opinion or I'm using profanity, I'm saying this out of passion. But people, especially in my age, my generation, it makes me upset when I hear people say social media this and social media that. Like, you are the only people who feel this way. Like, if you all change your mentality and one was who you are in real life, you wouldn't feel like social media has a certain effect. Like, I genuinely do believe, just like anything in life, everything has pros and cons. I don't think social media is the reason why the world is the way that it is. Do I believe that social media has an effect on us? Yes, I do believe social media has an effect on us, but not in a way a lot of people project. A lot of people are very hypocritical and contradict themselves and say social media is not good, social media is not bad, but are still using social media. I feel like social media is just a social media, meaning apps that we created. How we choose to interpret, like I said, how we choose to project, how we choose to carry ourselves is on us. I don't believe that people should, one, compare their lives or look at people on social media and try to figure out other people or be something that they're not. I believe that people should be able to post what they feel as long as it's not harming people or causing any disruption or anything that is not genuine to themselves or other people. But when people are not who they are or do things for competition or comparison, that's when social media can cause people to feel depressed. Like I can't go on social media and feel depressed from watching people having things or doing things that I have, because once again, like I said, the chemicals that it throws in your mind, like comparing yourself. Why would you do that? And that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people follow people on social media knowing that financially, emotionally, intuitively, they're not in that same space, and they look at other people they're not resonating with them. And now these people are discouraged and they're disappointed. And it's like, you have to be mindful of what you're watching. Like, that's why, like, me personally, when it comes to social media, I don't follow everybody. I don't want everybody following me. I'm very selective and of what I watch and what I choose to entertain myself with, because once again, whatever you're focusing on, whatever you choose to educate yourself on, is your experiences. So hey Ty, shout out to 301 Cowboys in the chat. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. How are you doing? I think it's just really important. And honestly, like I said, that's just how I look at it. The people in my generation, it upsets me, but that's an opinion. But that's just something like to think about, or just to interpret. Like, understand what you're doing when it comes to your life. That's why it's really important, you know, to just accept where you are, learning to accept certain things that you lack. Like, if you're not brought into a family with resources or financial tools, like, educating yourself or learning and expanding yourself to put yourself in positions where you can better yourself so you don't feel like other people's life, because that's another thing too. Nobody's life is meant for you to experience. So what people think and what people feel and what they're doing or what not doing, if it's not true to you, should not be able to resonate and take from you. Like I said, that's how the elites and the people in charge are able to dictate and control how people feel and what people are doing and what they're saying, because people are not one aware of themselves or taking the initiative to realize like that that's not true, and that just because people are doing and saying things doesn't mean that it's for you. And accepting yourself, like being true to yourself, healing yourself, is knowing that what you went through, like certain things that you experienced that could be embarrassing to you, was for you to experience and not for anybody to make you feel bad about. Like me losing my job and not having money at the age of 20 years old, that's not for anybody to make me feel bad. If people want to talk about me saying that I'm homeless, that I'm a bum, that I got the same wig, like I said, if they're not financially sending me money on my Cash App, or putting any monies in my pocket, or helping me get a job, or taking me to and from work, what those people, their lives is not my life. And that's the thing. A lot of people are not living their lives for them, and they're living it for everybody else. And when you're not living your life for you, you miss out on life, or you feel like you're not where you need to be, or you're intimidated, or you're insecure. And like I said, the things that people do for money is unfortunate. Like, you should never, and I never want anybody that, my clients especially, to feel that way. Where did I get my tattoos from? So I have over 24, 25 tattoos. I've gotten my tattoos everywhere. So I've got my tattoos from the East Coast. I got my tattoos in the West Coast. I've been getting tattoos since I was 17 years old. So I've got my tattoos all over the place. Like, I don't go anywhere specifically. I did have a tattoo artist. His name is Dougie. That's in the local East Coast area outside of Washington, D.C. Other than that, I don't I've got my tattoos everywhere, all over the place. I go to tattoo shops, I've had people do them. So, I have a lot of tattoos, I've got my tattoos everywhere. So, tattoo shops, tattoo shop tattoo shops, and people's houses. That's where I've gotten my tattoos from. People's houses. And I think that's just really important, you guys, like, but it's a celebration because here we are in the year 2022. We're able to learn from those experiences. We're able to grow. We're able to realize what has helped in us, what hasn't been helping us. We're removing people, we're meeting people, not allowing ourselves, like I said, to be attached. And when it comes to us healing ourselves, because we're not attached, we're able to see, emotionally, mentally, intuitively, where we were or where we weren't. And letting our emotions be what they are. Because when it comes to healing, because it's a process, actually taking the time to process that information, like, it's stages. So you have anger, you have denial, you have your grief, you have explanation, you have days where you're like emotionally you're stable, physically you might not be stable, financially you may have money one day, you may not. Like allowing your life to go with the flow, allowing yourself to heal, and allowing yourself to just embrace who you are, because that's how you elevate. That's how you heal. That's how you're going to get to where you need to be, by being true to yourself, surrounding yourself with people, places, and things that are holding you accountable, surrounding yourself with environments that are challenging you in a positive way, in an uplifting way, because your life for you to live is for you. Nobody gets to tell you how you get to live your life. You don't want people to tell you how to live your life, because what somebody does for them doesn't mean it's always going to work for you. Like the information I suggest and advise, the people that I'm aligning my with, I'm not for everybody. And me personally, the energy that I have, I don't want to be for everybody. I never wanted to be for everybody. And that's why it's really important that people, anyone who is watching these videos, you continue to be patient with yourself and you just accept. Like I think honestly, like that's the most important thing when it comes to healing, is accepting. Like accept where you are today. Like I've accepted that where I was, like I said, in 2019 when I first started this channel, not knowing, compared to now, it's 2022 and it is now 10 to 16. Sunday. Tomorrow will be Monday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every day, as you guys know, like nothing changes but the year. So practicing, aligning yourself, continuing to move forward, continuing to accept your past, continuing to realize that you're going to lose people, you're going to outgrow people, that everyone's not going to be able to go with you, because it's also a choice. Like me choosing to heal myself means the energy that I'm giving myself, the people that I want in my life. If people are not bringing any value, if you're not here to heal yourself, I don't I don't have any attachments. I don't attach myself to people, places, and things. And that's something too I've had to learn. Like where I was at 2019, being in a relationship, being attached to another person, being pregnant, being financially stable, having certain physical material items, and then all of that being taken away. And knowing that I don't have to be depressed because I don't have money. I don't have to be emotionally damaged because I've healed myself. And moving forward, accepting that, you know what? I did sell my house. I did sell my car. I was in a relationship that I was not supposed to be in. I did do certain things. Now what? You don't get to shame people. You don't get to sit here, belittle people. You don't get to sit here and degrade people when they're true to themselves. And that's another thing. Like, that's why when it comes to being confident or being in tune with yourself, you're able to raise your frequency. The only time you bother people who are not on the same frequency as you is when people are not true to themselves. And that's the thing. When people are not true to themselves, they project. So you have a lot of people trying to belittle you. You have people trying to attack you. You have people trying to watch you. You have people just being nosy, just doing all these things. And it's not needed nor necessary. So I just want to say thank you guys so much. It's a celebration. I'm probably going to end this video in the next minute or two, unless more people come in and out the chat or you guys have any more questions about that. I'm just very grateful that it is now the year 2022 and that it is July 17th. And for those of you who've been here, like I said, it means a lot because like I said, we're just now at a point in our lives where we are just getting started. Like I now can continue to progress. Like I said, right now we're promoting social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as Linktree, as well as it's specific bookings that I have. You guys, I'm still learning and working with that as I have clients give you guys feedback. I can continue to work on that, but just being patient and knowing that I don't have to rush building this house, because once again, you don't want to rush something that is going to last, and you don't have to rush anything that is for you. Like you don't have to force relations with certain people. Like me personally, I've been removing a lot of people because I don't have the patience. Like I'm not pressed to be friends with anyone. Nobody is my friend. Nobody is my friend. Like I'm not friends with anybody because one, I'm not attaching myself to anybody, and two, that the people that I choose to resonate myself with are because they're aligned with me. You don't have to force friendships. You don't have to go out your way worrying about people, place, and things because when you put focus on people, place, and things that are not focusing on you, you take away. When you allow the people to hurt you that have wronged you, to hinder your mind and your emotions, that's messing you up. That's why, me personally, like I said, I'm not going to hold a grudge. Just because I forgive you doesn't mean you get to come back into my life. So, for example, there are a lot of people in my past that I've forgiven, but there's no relations. Like, I'm not gonna be rude and disrespectful if someone says hi to me or asks me a question. I'll answer your question, but you have to realize that it's up to me to answer the question because you're asking. Like, I don't go on my way following people or worrying about people I have no business aligning myself with because that's time and energy. If I didn't ask to be born in the physical, why would I spend my time and energy on people, places, and things that one have no attachment or two that are doing anything to help me become who I want to be? I've already done that. And it's really important, as this year continues and as you guys continue to, heal yourself to keep that in mind. Like, it's a choice. It's a choice. And like where I'm at right now, you guys, every single day, like I never had patience, but the invisible patience that I never had is permanently gone. So now that it's permanently gone, it's just like I said, if you're not in alignment, where are my scissors? Because you guys know all the time, like cut these, cut it, cut it, cut it. There's a song by Shy Glizzy. Cut it, cut it, cut it. You guys, I tell you all the time, get your pair of scissors. We cutting ties, okay? A people, place, a thing, I don't care what it is, whom it is. Block, unfollow, okay? Like only surround yourself with things you want to see elevate and grow. So I'm surrounding myself with other holistic healers. I'm surrounding myself with other entrepreneurs. I'm surrounding myself with people that I would like to be like. And knowing that once again, as you're healing and as you're growing, as you're surrounding yourself with these people, places, and things, that it requires you to grow. It requires you to accept, certain things that you did in your life that you're not able to do and being okay with it. Like there's certain people that I'm learning that the things that they know, instead of being offended by or being upset with, accepting that, this is how they look at life. And that if, I want to learn from them, I'm able to take from them, but not being like irritated or mad or, like I said, just having these projections because how they choose to do, what works for them, if it's working for them, why would they not suggest and advise that information? And knowing that if I lack certain knowledge, to not look at it as a disappointment or discouraged, but to have the opportunity to grow. It ain't nothing to cut that B off. Yup. It ain't nothing to cut that B off. And ain't nothing cut that off. Like 31 Cowboy said, I agree. Like, I definitely agree because when you're not surrounding yourself with people who are uplifting you, what happens is you take away from yourself. And if you didn't come to life or experiencing life and not knowing who you are, why would you allow people, places, and things to take away from you when you're the main character of your life? Like, I'm the main character in my life, and unfortunately for a lot of other people too, but I'm the main character for me. The other people, I don't know why people make me the main character. I mean, I do know why, but people don't realize that. And I'm saying this to say, as a real alchemist, I'm saying this with love. As a real intentional alchemist, you all be giving people the energy and you don't realize that. Y'all, like, for people who are intimidated and insecure, when y'all let people know, because y'all be doing it subconsciously, when y'all are intimidated by people, you don't realize that all that energy that you have in you, you're draining away and just shining on the other person. And that person is going to rise regardless. That's why I tell you guys to be mindful. Like, It's no reason anybody should look at anybody physically, of course, and be intimidated by them, but emotionally, financially, intuitively. Because here's the thing, you can have whatever it is that you want. Like, you shouldn't want to look at other people and feel as though that you have to have the things they have because of the attachments and the labels. And like, that's my biggest thing, is not being so attached with the labels, with the society, because that's all they are, is labels. Like I've stated, every single word in the dictionary has to be defined because they're words, and that's what sentences and definitions are. That doesn't mean that you place those definitions and those sentences onto you because now you feel like that's who you are. And if that's what you say, once you say something, excuse me, that's your reality, you're not wrong. And that's another thing too, which is very tricky. So I just want to start off and say thank you guys so much. I want to thank the divine. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. It's a celebration because here we are in 2022. I want to say thank you for those of you who are returning and have been returning. I just want to make sure you guys are following me on my Instagram, my Twitter, and TikTok at Ty_guidance. I will be, like I said, during the meantime, in between time, I'm promoting that because it has been already. Excuse me. Hold on, you guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, you guys. So I'll go ahead and end this video. I do apologize about that, you guys. I had some technical difficulties. So I'm gonna just end off this video by saying thank you. I just want to make sure, like I said, you guys are following me on my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I'm currently promoting and will be promoting. So just make sure you guys are turning your notifications on. You're following me there. If you guys have any questions, if you like this video, dislike this video. I just want to thank the Divine Feminines. I want to thank Source. I want to thank everyone who's been following me since 2019. It's a celebration video because this video is not going to be the last video. Just like my other videos, like I said, I've made certain decisions. I'm learning from my past. I've made mistakes, but I'm not going to give up on myself, and I don't want you guys to give up on yourself. So most importantly, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoy your weekend. Take your time. Healing is a process, knowing that it's a journey. There's no right or wrong way to do so, but you want to stay genuine to yourself and being true to yourself. So showing up every single day, learning from your good and bad days, not allowing your depression, your anxiety, or the labels to be who you are, your past trauma to affect you to where you can't live your life and move on, because life is going to continue. And like I tell you guys all the time, good or bad days, the world's not going to stop just because we're feeling some type of way. And most importantly, we want to be able in control of our lives. We want to be able to in control and accept that, some days when we have our emotions and we have feelings, that we're not our emotions, our feelings. So the more we can learn to um understand them, heal them, and process them, we will realize that they're temporary, that we're allowed to feel them, we're allowed to have them, but we don't let them be permanent. We don't attach ourselves to them. We feel them in the moment, we live in the moment, and we learn to live with no attachment. We learn to live freely and do what works best for us. So I love you guys. I love everybody equally. I'm learning to love myself, forgive myself. I want to say congratulations to you, Todd, because the past you is very proud of you in the present. So until next time, you guys, stay tuned for further videos. Peace in the Middle East.